Howdy guys, how's it going? How's it hanging? We're back with a video. It's gonna be a little bit of a different setup here. I'm gonna be reacting to one of the first videos I ever made, and you can probably tell by the title. So I'm behind my green screen, I'm gonna get the recording set up, we're gonna look at it. But yeah, basically how this idea kind of popped into my head is that I was on my Twitch stream, and somebody on Twitch recommended that I go back to the very early videos that I made and almost like react to them, almost like do maybe like a side-by-side comparison, you know, of like the physical changes that have happened since I've detransitioned. And I was like, hey, that's not a bad idea. Let's do that. So that's what we're doing today. Let me pop it up. And I decided to go with just the very, very first video that I ever made. I figured that would be the best because this was filmed. Here it is. There's me. Horrible, horrible face. Let's get rid of that. Well, that was not that much better. I didn't know very much about angles when I first started my YouTube shit. So we're about to have a couple of laughs together. I'm not going to watch this entire thing because it's 45 minutes long. Old me also didn't know how to time things properly. But, as you can see, for the first video, I got the old lipstick that I have in the first video. You know, I thought I'd do like a little reminiscent, is that a word? You know, just going back, you know, just for shits and giggles, put on the same lipstick that I wore in this exact video. It was the same tube, too. I probably should, either throw that away or have gotten a new one, but, you know, we all know that I don't give a shit about shit like that over here. But, yeah, so, I guess let's just get into it. Here's me. We all know that I don't know how to edit videos, which is obviously apparent, in here. This whole thing, let me just go back and, before I, like, get into the whole thing and, like, start watching little clippets, let me just say that not much has changed. I still don't know how to edit videos. I still can't do things right. Let's just say that, do things right. So, yeah, I guess that's something that stayed the same, you know, without even having to start the video. I don't have my notes this time, though. And I will say, and you guys, if you've never seen this video of me before, you will find out that something that has changed a little bit is that I feel like I'm much better at speaking and getting the words in my head out than I was at first, because when I first made these videos I was like kind of all over the place. I needed my notes to stay on track, and it's like, okay, like what am I doing, what am I talking about, like where am I, and then I'd lose my train of thought and I'd be like, ah shit, what am I talking about, you know. So that part was a little bit rough, and I think that happens a few times in this video. But I will say, I'm a little bit proud of myself. I think I'm doing a little bit better at keeping on track. So we're about to go back and go through this video. When was this posted? The first video that I ever made. Stop it, Bixby's listening to me. Where was it? Oh, May 18th, 2020. It's December 20th. So, that's like, what, 7 months or so? I don't know. Time isn't real. But, yeah, so this was like a hot minute ago. But, like, in reality, it hasn't actually been that long, like, detransition-wise, because, you know, 7 months, 6 or 7 months, whatever it is, ain't really that much time for your body to change, at least. But I don't know, let me full screen this and let me get what you guys think. Let me make the same face. Or like a... Is that the same thing? I can't tell if I'm making the same face or not. And in my defense, that was just me pausing it really bad. But, yeah. We're ready to see if my voice sounds any different. Let's go. Maybe. Okay. Let's get started here. This is like the third time I filmed this video because I just got off work and I was like, oh... Because I just got off work and I have a deep voice and detransition. God. I don't know, maybe it doesn't maybe it doesn't sound that much different. I feel, maybe I feel like the tone of my voice got lighter. I mean, I know my voice is still very deep for a woman, but I feel like maybe the tone of the pitch, whatever it is, of my voice has gotten, I feel like maybe a little bit higher. So I feel like that's changed a bit. And that was really ironic because when I first detransitioned, I still can't speak because of my lisp. But when I first detransitioned, that was one of the things that like held me up the most. It was one of the things that I was so freaked out about. Was my voice. I mean, I almost didn't detransition at all because of it, because I was like, well, shit, this is gonna give me away. I'm not gonna like the idea of not passing as my own gender was just too like wacky bad to comprehend. Like my brain couldn't compute. Like at that point I was thinking, well shit, if I pass as a guy now, and I think I have an old guy picture in this video that we might get to see, but what was going through my head basically at before this point was that, hey, well, I'm a guy, if I can't pass, like if I detransition and I can't pass as my own gender, like I almost didn't detransition. I was like, man, I would rather be uncomfortable and pass as a guy pretty well than deal with being misgendered and shit as my own gender for the rest of my life. Thankfully, I don't have to deal with that. Things did change, but when I was first considering detransitioning, that was one of the things that I was like, oh boy, this is bad. But yes, I mean, if you're in the same boat, I mean, I guess we can kind of tell the differences now. Um, yeah, which I guess is kind of why I'm posting this video, because I mean, this video, or that one, not this one, that one, that I filmed it because, and I feel like I didn't really actually get kind of quite my point across as well as I wanted to in this one. But I don't think I really knew what the point I wanted to make was. But kind of, having spent some time, obviously, detransitioning, what I made this video for was because when I had looked up information on detransitioning, like how other people detransitioned, like what happened to their voice, what do they look like now, do they pass now, like did it get better, because I was so paranoid. I was like, oh my god, like what's gonna happen to me, like if I detransition, like what's gonna happen, like that was my big holdup. And so I posted this video to kind of give a little bit more information on my experiences on how it happened for me, because when I first detransitioned I couldn't really find anything. I found people's videos like when they decided to detransition, and those were really helpful, but there weren't really that many different kind of stories or different videos out there about like months and months down the line, like what happened to this person after they detransitioned, like what do they look like, how has their voice changed, how has their face changed, what changes have they experienced, months down the line. And so I obviously couldn't post like that because at the time it wasn't months down the line, like I was still kind of right at the very peak of going through all this detransition stuff. But so going back now, I think that's what this video is going to be. Also, one, reacting to the cringe video of me not knowing how to speak. And two, also, kind of recapping and, my different thoughts on what I actually said in the video. And also, I'm going to explain to you guys, or I guess kind of just to kind of show you guys how much your body changes when you detransition from then to me. That's a horrible face. Why do I do this to myself? That's not much better. I can't pause it on a good face of me. I'm just gonna leave it. But yeah, just to kind of show the difference of how much you really do change. I mean, because when I first detransitioned and I was looking it up, it kind of squeaky brakes outside my window. It kind of seemed, and everything that I had heard was kind of grim, because everyone was saying, well, testosterone has such a massive effect on women's bodies. I mean, a lot of the changes that you go through are very, very permanent. I mean, I feel like my voice is different than it is in the video, and I'll give you guys another little snippet here.
Because it doesn't take any preparation at all. So, like I said, this is like the third time I filmed this, so I'm gonna actually.
I mean, if you can kind of hear the difference, and like I mean, at least maybe it sounds different to my ears. You guys, like I said, you guys will have to let me know. I got makeup on my hand. Oops. Uh, but like that's one of the things everybody told me was that hey, like your voice does not change on testosterone. Like what you have is what you get. Um, and I did a little bit of voice training, but at the time I did voice training was kind of at this point in my life, and my voice was so low and it was so hard to notice any sort of a difference that I kind of gave up. So I really haven't done anything. I didn't really have outside help for my voice. I haven't done vocal surgery. I didn't really do anything like that. I went to a vocal coach mostly for singing lessons, and maybe that had some sort of an impact. But I mean, my voice, I feel like it has lightened up quite a bit compared to this, you know. And so that's something that I feel is not quite true. So if your voice is really really deep and you want to detransition and you're hearing this and you're like, holy shit, it it changes at least a little bit, but it changes. And it's only been 7 months for me. I mean, God forbid, what am I gonna sound like 2 years from now? Will it get even lighter? I mean, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll come back and make a video like a year down the line and 2 years down the line, just to kind of give people like a, you know, like a timeline of what they might expect for changes. I feel like I certainly look different. Like I feel like the like fat redistribution through my face, I feel kind of moved around, and like I will say, uh, when it when it comes to physical changes, at that point I was a freaking brick. I had been on testosterone for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, or around that point. So things had definitely changed around. The fat redistribution, everything that made me get more of like a masculine appearance. I mean, I guess I mean, that's my, show you guys the form. That's what it looked like. Get everything tight. Like, that's the outline of me. So, like, I'm not, like, the curviest bitch ever, but, like, I definitely don't have, like, the masculine appearance that I did, you know, before. So, I mean, things do change. Get all comfortable. So yeah, that's changed. My boobs came back. I will say that's something that does change, and I feel like that has a lot to do with the fat redistribution. That one took probably longer than anything else. I got more curvy before I got my boobs. So if you're in the period where you're getting more curvy but your boobs ain't there yet, just give it time. Just give it time. That one takes a while. At least it did for me. But yeah, don't listen to him. Don't listen to him. Your voice changes. It does. You just got to give it time. I mean, probably won't go back to what it was originally because, I mean, physically it drops and then, you know, you can't, you know, change it all the way back. But I don't think it's going to stay the same. Like, if you're in the middle of your detransition and your voice is like, oh my god, like, holy shit, like, I sound like a guy I'll never pass, you know? Like, I can still make my voice go as deep, but naturally, my speaking voice is, like, up here. And that didn't, like I said, I'm probably repeating myself 50 million times, but I really want to emphasize this. I did not do voice training. This happened on its own. It's not as deep as it was before, and it has changed. So if you're freaking out about it, or I mean, if you're honestly just wondering what happens if you stop taking testosterone, like after a while, things will go back. Okay, things will go back. It's not as permanent as everybody says it says it is. And I mean, I wonder. Sorry, there's a fly that's driving me absolutely nuts. I've threatened its family multiple times, but apparently it doesn't care about them. Like. Yeah, I mean, imagine how much different it would be if I actually did voice training and actually tried to train it to go a lot higher. I mean, you know, just don't panic about that. Don't panic. It's not the end of the world, okay? I wonder if I should go back to a certain period. I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. This is my intro.
I hope that I can cohesively speak a sentence this time without stuttering and having to start all over. So that's where we're at.
Yes. There's that. In this intro period, if I'm remembering correctly, I think I'm basically just giving my story, and I've given that a million times over. I want to try and find that. Oh, here it is. The picture of when I was a guy, so you guys can see. I mean, it's not a great picture, but it'll give you an image of what I looked like when I was trans, and then you can see me now, and then see like me, like a transition, a timeline. You know what I'm talking about. Here it is. I think somewhere
there of what I looked like and how I passed. But yeah, I was identifying as a guy. My voice was dropped. I didn't get
thoughts. Testosterone changes you so much, and like it didn't change like everything, right? And I think that picture when I was a guy, it was, I think, like a year into me being, like, me having, like, a little bit of testosterone. Um, I had grown a little bit of a mustache, permanent mustache hairs. I was happy about that. At the time, I was just like, hey, bearded. Because when I was a guy, I was just like, oh my God, I have to have a beard. Which I can say also about that, that's all gone away. I don't have facial hair. And what facial hair I did have that seemed permanent when I was a guy is not there anymore. I think I shaved maybe twice, 2 or 3 times when I first detransitioned around like this time. But like after that, I didn't shave, and now it's been like months and months and just nothing. Like it's all gone. It all disappeared. It all fell out. And maybe that has to do with me not being on testosterone for as long as some other people. But I mean, I had mustache, and I had sideburns like hardcore, and just eventually it turned invisible, and then eventually they just fell out. So that's also a plus. That has changed, I will say. So that's also another thing. It's another change. It's another difference. I don't even remember what to talk about. Yeah, I go through in this video. I go through like my old like why I decided to detransition, and I mean I guess I kind of like recap it for you because I don't want to go through this entire video, right? But and also I don't know what my timestamps are because I didn't get prepared. I'll just sit back and sit down and film it, and I'm gonna film a video with no notes and no preparation because it's my channel, and I'm never prepared. But through this whole intro period, I talk about why I transitioned or why I thought that it was right for me, and all that jazz. And I mentioned my sexuality a lot because I currently identify as asexual aromantic because I don't like anybody. Ow. Ugh. I got something in my mouth. Sorry, random squirrel. But I don't really like anybody. I didn't really have feelings for anybody. But and that was a bit of an issue when I was like all through like honestly 14 through 18 when I decided to detransition. Like that was my whole issue. I was like, I don't like anybody. Why don't I like anybody? There's got to be something wrong with me. And I think like self-consciously like I knew that transitioning wouldn't change my sexuality or anything like that, but I think I was kind of hoping it was kind of subconsciously. And so when I transitioned, because the whole idea with me was transitioning was okay, I can transition because I'm having all these issues. It seems like it seems so much greener on the other side of the fence. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, okay, I can like almost change who I am. Like it's almost like, and I've said this before, but what I got into my head was it's almost like a build your character screen in a video game. Like I felt like if I transitioned into becoming a guy, like I got to choose my name, I got to choose my outfits, like what personality I wanted. Like it's almost like I could like be a completely different person. And I think I kind of expected like the whole sexuality bits to kind of tag along with that, and I kind of just expected to all my social issues to be changed, if I was a guy instead of a girl. I mean, I was a massive tomboy before this, and so I was like, well, it's just seems easier. It seems better. Fucking go away! I swear to God, lights are driving me crazy. Freaking, I need to stop threatening things that are not going to change. But yeah, and I'm not editing this video either. You know, one straight takes, just like that one. So any interruptions, I do apologize, but I'm not gonna bother editing those out. But yeah, that was I'd say that was my main motivator. I was so desperate to find some sort of a fix for my asexuality because I thought it was like, well, I'm asexual, I'm gonna be alone for the rest of my life, you know, and so I just was not happy with that. So yeah, I was so desperate for a fix, a problem solver. I swear to God. Um, and so I transitioned, and it almost made my problems seemingly disappear. But going back now in my viewpoint from now after having all this time to kind of go back and think about things, my issues with sexuality seemingly disappeared because when I transitioned, I wasn't dating. And I wasn't interested in dating because I was still like, even towards the end of my transition, like I was still kind of transitioning, you know, like, I mean, I was still like going through like testosterone was making changes and shit, and like I wasn't done. So it just wasn't really on my radar at that time, and since I wasn't thinking about it as constantly as I was when I was a girl, I thought it like went away, you know. But then, you know, as it got farther and farther down the line, thinking, you know, once you started thinking about dating, all my friends started dating. Then they tried to like hook me up, you know, with girls. Then they asked if I would rather date a guy, and I was just like, no, no, it doesn't seem right. It just didn't seem right. Nothing seemed right. And then that's when I started to think about, well, why doesn't this seem right? And I put off that thought for so long. I was like, oh my God, don't think about that. Because I think I knew that I wasn't happy with it. But I figured if I had thought about why I wasn't happy with it and really admitted that something was wrong, that it would just completely derail everything and that I would just be. I was afraid that I would detransition, and because I was afraid of detransition. I didn't know what the hell that was. I didn't know why that was happening to me. You know, so that's like throughout this period, that's kind of what I explain, you know, what led to it. And then I think at this point, 27, 28, something like that, I think I'm trying to explain that, you know, it's not the end of the world because the what I wish I knew thing was that it's going to be fine. um, and I know it, like, when you're kind of in the middle of that like deep anxiety, dark depressive like feeling, especially when you're considering detransitioning or you're starting to detransition and you're not happy with how you look, and you know it's like I almost felt like I was going through like almost like reverse dysphoria. Like I transitioned and then trying to transition back to a girl, I gave myself dysphoria. um, and I know it's really, really hard to think positively when you're in the middle of all that negativity and that negative thought, and it's really hard to change your mind in your own mindset. But this part of the video, I was really trying to say, hey, it's not the end of the world. Just do it. Nobody really. If you're thinking about people making fun of you or judging you, nobody gives a shit that much. I mean, really. I mean, at the end of the day, everybody's thinking about their own shit. You know, they're not gonna go to bed thinking, "Oh my God, that person, look at them. They made a mistake. They're so ugly. They don't pass." You know, nobody gives a shit. And so that was kind of my little spiel for a while. Was trying to say, "Don't worry about it. If you want to detransition, or you want to transition, whatever, just do it." You know, because I was so nervous about it. And I don't know if I really explained this in my video originally, but when I detransitioned, like I thought about it for a week. Um, and then I like decided I am never doing this. I am never detransitioning. I'm not doing that. That is never happening. Yeah, I was in the mindset for a while that I will never detransition because I was like, my voice is too deep. I'll never pass. I say, I don't look like a girl anymore. Because during that week, I bought makeup because I was kind of curious, and I was like, would I pass as a chick? and I put the makeup on, and I felt like an absolute clown. I felt so stupid. I was like, I look stupid, but at the same time, putting makeup on myself when I looked so much like a guy at the time, I'm obviously not gonna look right. You gotta give it time. But at that point, I was so like out of my mind with anxiety, and at the same time, I was talking to a therapist too. I think I kind of overwhelmed her too because I don't think she really had ever dealt with anything like that. I mean, she told me to really think about it and just do whatever felt right to me. And she said, if that's gonna make you happy, then don't focus on anybody else is gonna think or what anybody else is gonna say. Just focus on what you want to do. And that helped me out a bit. But yeah, I mean, I said, no way in hell, never. I'm not doing that. Um, I said, I'm just gonna spend the rest of my life as a guy, even if I know I'm not transgender. I said, I can deal with it. I said, I can deal with it. I can push through. It'll be fine. Um, and then I think like a week later, I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like once I knew that this wasn't right, and once I had admitted that I made a mistake, even though I said I wasn't gonna detransition, it just got that much harder to almost like live with myself and like who I like had become and who I was presenting as. Um, and then I ultimately decided, well, it's like, well, I have to do this. Like, I'm going to detransition, and that's kind of what put me over. Once I decided and realized that, hey, this is not for me. I'm not trans. Actually, it had the detransition had to happen. Um, and yeah, I think that's when I decided that I got an apartment and moved out because I couldn't detransition with my current roommates. I mean, I probably could have, but I felt like it would have been so awkward, and I needed my own place anyways. So yeah, then I moved out. I was alone, and I felt safer. So I think as long as you feel like you're in a good space, it got easier. It got easier. It gets good to have a support system too. All my coworkers that I worked with, who I do consider friends, they were very supportive. Even people on the internet at the time were very supportive. And I think it's really important. It really, really helps your mindset. So if you have anybody who can support you in whatever you're going to do, even if you're just transitioning to start with and you decide that that's right for you, I think just a solid support system and having people tell you it's like, hey, it's going to be okay, whatever it is, it's going to work out, is just so important. That's what I want to get across. And that little bit. I hope you guys can see the differences because I'm going to end this video pretty soon anyways. It's almost been going for half an hour. And I said I wasn't going to go for that long. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with me? But, yeah, I mean, this is the difference for me. I'm going to mute it and then just let it play. What I look like and how I physically changed and how my voice has changed. So, I mean, if you're reading things and they're saying, hey, good luck with that if you want to detransition. Nothing's going to change. Your voice is going to be that deep for the rest of your life. You're never going to pass again. You fucked up your body. I don't think it's true. I don't think it's true. I mean, my voice is deeper, and some people would say that I fucked up my voice, but I've come to like it. I think it kind of suits me, the deep voice, the alternative. I mean, I got piercings, I got a split tongue, I got tattoos everywhere. I mean, the whole alternative, not normal is kind of my scene, you know? So however you do it, find a way to love yourself, all right? Find a way to like it. However that is, as long as you ain't hurting yourself or anybody else, is fine. Don't listen to anybody else. Don't let them affect you. But yeah, I hope this helps some people out if you need it. If you wanted to see also a side-by-side comparison of like 6 months later after I've detransitioned, like how much I've physically changed, I hope this helps you. Yeah, don't give up. Don't give up hope. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. So bye.